looking back at my child self, giving her a high five, and telling her that, hey, you know what? You were onto something this entire time. Hello! I am Briana Lawrence, author of this book series, In Search of Superpowers, a fantasy pen world adventure. Now, yes, this is the same book, but one is the hardcover edition and the other is the paperback. And I am so excited to be talking about this series with you. Now, from a personal standpoint, I never really intended on collecting enamel pins. I think there's a lot of people who could probably relate to that, but once I got one, I had to get another one, and another one, and another one. So, why not write a book series about that? So, chapter one. I'll probably just read part of this because it's a pretty long chapter, but here we go. Angela and the quest for Saturday morning freedom. It's a you should go outside and play kind of Saturday morning. Jackets can be left in the closet. Tennis shoes are ready to be muddied. Bicycles are excited to be ridden around until the streetlights come on. But Angela is not playing. She's sitting in the window seat of her living room, looking at her glitter-speckled cell phone for the 175th time that day. She's been waiting for her package to be delivered for, ever. Especially since she got the out for delivery notification half an hour ago. A charm of a dark-skinned princess hangs from Angela's phone. The princess has a flower crown nestled in her thick purple hair and a matching ruffled dress that hugs her round body. She's high-fiving a wild swan who's in the middle of squawking out a battle cry, the two screaming together to prepare for an epic fairy tale war. Along with the charm, Angela's wearing socks with the princess and the swan on it. The socks are well loved, as they say. Angela loves her princesses. What she does not love is her not yet, but soon to be stepmother, Latrice. Angela! You better not be sitting around in my house on such a beautiful day. Angela winces. Latrice may be in the kitchen making coffee, but the cry is loud enough to echo into the living room. I'm waiting for a package! Another one? Angela rolls her eyes. Another one? She says under her breath. What she wants to say is it's ironic that she's being reprimanded for being indoors when Latrice is indoors too, but she keeps that to herself. Instead, she looks out the window, eyes shimmering like a treasure chest of hidden gems. There, outside of her house, at the front of the perfectly manicured lawn, is the mail truck she's been waiting for. It's here! It's here! It's here! Angela squishes her face and hands against the window. Her glasses bump against the surface. Her breaths, heavy with excitement, create a wet fog she could draw on with her finger if she wanted to. You better not be smudging up my windows. I'm not! Are you yelling at me? I'm not yelling, Latrice. I'm passionately responding. The mail truck drives off in the middle of the not yelling match. Once the coast is clear, Angela is up and out the front door so fast that her afro puffs bounce like two flapping wings. As she opens the mailbox, Angela imagines a harmonized gospel choir, humming a spiritual tune to highlight the momentous occasion. Hum, I can't sing y'all, but I thought I'd just throw it in. Inside the mailbox is a bubble mailer, a phone bill that Latrice would complain about, and a flyer full of coupons to various restaurants in the city. Those two last things don't matter. What does matter is the bubble mailer that has Angela's name on it. It's here, Angela whispers, carefully thumbing the mailer open and pulling a small enamel pin out of it. The limited edition Princess Peony Swanson T. Swan fantasy pen is now in my hands. And here's our girl, y'all. Here's Angela with her pen. Look at her. She is adorable. I love her. I love how this art turned out. I love it so much. In that moment, sunlight shines down upon the pen, its gold edge shimmering so brightly that it brings tears to Angela's eyes. The pen illustrates the princess hugging the swan in a way that's not as over the top as their other poses, like on her phone case or her shirt. She looks relieved, the pen capturing a moment from Angela's beloved fantasy series where the swan almost died, having risked her life to protect the princess. O fantastical goddess who hath bestowed the cosmic powers unto the chosen princess and her companion Swan, I shall cherish this limited edition enamel pen for the rest of my days, Angela says to it. Angela! I know you did not leave my front door open. Oh no. Latrice. Angela stuffs the pen back into its mailer and walks back toward the house to accept her fate. Latrice is standing in the doorway, arms crossed and lips curled in a disappointed scowl. She's wearing a bathrobe, a flower-patterned bonnet, and comfortable house shoes, her officially unofficial I don't have to work today look. Sorry, Angela tells her as she steps back inside the house. Is that another one of them pens? My dad said I can get it on my allowance, Angela replies. In fact, Angela's dad had been just as excited about the pen as Angela was. He's also a fan of Princess P and Swanson T. Swan, and the two had worked together to purchase the pen. When it came to enamel pens like this, with such limited runs, you often need two people refreshing a pre-order page to buy one. And that's because Robert enables your frivolous spending habits. Angela wants to say that the way she spends her allowance isn't frivolous, that the pens inspire her and make her happy, that she got a bump in her allowance for making honor roll this year, but then she stops herself. Latrice always has something to say about how Angela spends her allowance, even if it's her allowance to spend. Angela tries her best to not look uncomfortable. Up until now, Latrice mostly interacted with kids at the theme park she works at by smiling at them from afar. On paper, her career must sound fun, but in reality, she has the kind of corporate job that involves board meetings and words like synergy. Angela can hear it all the time on web calls. Synergy this and synergy that. So Angela knows that she and Latrice have to adjust to each other in similar ways. After all, she's never had a stepmom before. All these kids end up getting a different enamel pen after an explosion happens in their town. So they're trying to figure out the mystery of the explosion, where the pens came from, and what the theme park has to do with it. So they get to solve little riddles while they basically discover that they have superpowers, and all of them have different reactions to that. Conversations about art and creativity and not feeling good enough. Conversations about identity and trying to figure out who you are and your place. This is all part of me and my world, and I am hoping that a lot of people relate to that as well. In a way, these lessons are a superpower in and of themselves, and I think that's why when I was writing this, I decided to have superpowers that weren't as otherworldly as they could be. A lot of the characters think they're lacking in certain aspects of their lives, and I feel like that's a really real thing that we can relate to. A lot of us think that we're lacking in the things that we're doing. Angela has her art. There's a character named Skylar who thinks they're lacking in helping and taking care of their family and things like that. And it's hard to realize that the things you want to achieve take time, and you really can't just wear an enamel pen to make the things happen that you want to happen. And each chapter opens with basically the pen that each kid ends up getting. And so when it's multiple characters in a chapter, you get to see multiple pen icons. This is my very first middle grade book. I am extremely excited to share with everybody and to have everyone meet these kids. The first book will be out on January 30th, 2024, so we are very close to the launch date. It'll be available in major retailers, and like I said, I'm super, super hyped to get everybody to get into this series. It reminds me of being a kid, going to the library, spending hours upon hours reading as many books as I could, or playing Oregon Trail. That probably dates me, but I don't care. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and yeah, keep collecting enamel pens.